Imagine a situation where you gave your very best at your job, but you did not get that promotion that you so very well deserved. Imagine a situation where you gave your heart and your soul in a relationship where you were really deeply in love with your partner, but unfortunately for you, things didn't work out. Imagine a situation where you invested your time, money, energy, resources, your whole self into a long term marriage, but it failed. While these might sound negative and depressing thoughts to hear, but unfortunately, it's the sad reality of many people around the world. In fact, all of us at one point or the other find ourselves in adverse situations, and knowing how to cope with those situations and bounce back is the key. 2020 has reinforced and showed us proof that these situations are no longer one off and they might just come in into anybody's lives. If you look at the way the whole year panned out last year, the number of people who lost their jobs, who lost their health, who lost their relationships, for whom everything changed overnight has just grown exponentially worldwide. And therefore, resilience is no longer an option but a mandatory skill. And just like any other skill, resilience can be understood, learned, and developed and built over a period of time. And that's the reason we decided to put this course together to offer a very structured way of understanding what is resilience, how to learn it, how to practice it, and build it over a period of time. Resilience, in my opinion, is not merely the ability to bounce back from adversity, because we have always seen that whenever you're in an adverse situation, you are never the same. The situation always manages to change you, because while you're in adversity, you're not stationary. You're going through a whole journey. You're going through trials and tribulations. You're experiencing heartaches and a whole lot of other emotions. And everything around you is changing at a very constant speed. Now, all of this put together is acting on you, and you are surely going to change. You will never come out of the situation just like the way you were before. But in that moment, you have a choice to make. You can choose whether you want that situation and everything that you're experiencing to impact you negatively and therefore change you forever, or you can choose if you want to use adversity as a platform for personal growth, learn, grow, and emerge out of this situation on the other side victorious, more courageous, with greater confidence and conviction. That is a choice that you always have. And the ability to make the choice of using adversity to grow and transform in a positive manner is resilience. The other thing that we have to understand is that resilience is not just an emotional reaction to a situation. Many times when we are in adverse situations, we just react emotionally to it and start acting in a certain manner. For example, if somebody got fired from their job, they just get up and say, hey, I don't even need a job. I'm going to start my own business and I'll show these guys that I'm good enough. Because that's your ego reacting to a situation. For example, if somebody has a heartache, if their partner or the one they love ditched them, they might just get up and say, I don't even need love in my life. I can survive on my own. Now, these are typically emotional reactions, the reaction of the ego to a situation. And unfortunately, this is not resilience. Because while these actions might seem to soothe you and heal you temporarily, because it might feel good, because your ego is getting massaged, but that is no way to build resilience because they won't help in the long term. Very soon, when you're acting out of just your emotions and your ego, you will very soon get frustrated again. And therefore, my dear friends, it's very essential to learn and develop the skill of resilience in a very conscious manner. Resilience, therefore, is not just an emotional reaction to adversity, but a very conscious, intentional response to a difficult situation in a manner that the situation helps me grow and come out on the other side victorious. In this course, we look at 4 specific behaviors that will help us build resilience. And when I say behaviors, it's thought, feeling, and attitudes put together, because what is a behavior? How do you develop a particular behavior? It always begins at the thought level. Your thought decides your feelings, that influences your attitude, and the 3 together influence your action. And the action, when you repeat it over a period of time in a conscious, learned manner, it becomes your behavior. So in this course, we will look at 4 specific behaviors that will allow us to be resilient, and how to develop those behaviors by focusing on specific thoughts, attitudes, and practices that we can do in our daily life. The first of the 4 behaviors is what we call as mindful living. Mindfulness is a simple tool to relax and calm your mind. It's a tool that is used to manage stress, anxiety, and all sorts of emotions. But when mindfulness is used consciously in daily life, then it transforms into what we call as mindful living, which is a way of life, a behavior that can be learned. So in the first episode, the first topic of the course, we will talk about in detail what is mindfulness, how can you experience mindfulness, and what can you do to practice and develop mindful living, and how that is used to build resilience. The second behavior is be solution oriented or take personal responsibility. It's about taking charge of your own life. It's telling you that no matter how dark the tunnel is, there is always something that you can do. If everything fails, at least you can light a small candle. But to have the courage to light that candle when there's darkness all around is to be solution oriented. The other day I was listening to Indra Nooyi, who was the past CEO of PepsiCo, one of the ladies I really, really admire. And the person who was interviewing her asked her a very simple question, that Indra, what is your advice to working women? How do they balance their careers as well as their family lives? Because Indra is an example, a living example of that. She has had a long, stable marriage of 37 years, 2 wonderful daughters, and a great exemplary career. And Indra said something very interesting. She did not give the usual gyan of husband and wife should talk to each other and they should talk about equally dividing chores and stuff like that. In fact, she said that a lot is being spoken about gender equality, and women are saying that husbands should take 50% of the load and do all of that. And she said very casually that if your husband agrees to do that, then that's awesome. You should consider yourself to be very lucky. But if he doesn't do that, then what do you do? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Do you just blame your husband and say that because I didn't get support at home, I had to give up my career? Now that's not an excuse. If your husband does not support you in sharing your responsibilities and workload, then you have got to find your own solution. Find a way to work around your problem because it is your problem and you have the power to find the solution. And that's something that really inspired me. The message was loud and clear. In every situation, there is always something that you can do. And all you need to do is refocus your attention from your big circle of problems and concerns to your circle of influence, asking yourself the question, what is it that I can influence in this situation? And this is a very, very powerful behavior that will help you build resilience. So in the second topic of the course, we are going to look at how to develop this behavior. The third behavior is develop learning agility. Now, learning agility has been spoken about so much in the recent times and is considered as one of the most important 21st century skills to have for everyone, irrespective of wherever you are. So in the third topic of the course, we are going to talk about what is learning agility and what can you do to develop or build this behavior so that it helps you build resilience. And the last but not the least, and one of the most important behaviors is being biased to action. When you're amidst adversity, it becomes difficult to take action because you don't want to take action. It's almost like your mind, your brain is paralyzed. You spend a lot of time in thinking, in planning, in wishing, in hoping, in crying. But the only thing that will actually get you out of where you are is taking action. So being biased to action, even if it is taking one small step, no matter how difficult it is, but the moment you gather the courage to take that one small step towards the solution, you are already on your way to the other side of adversity, which today or tomorrow will come to an end. But being biased to action, taking action is so important because it ensures that your mind is creatively engaged. You're not spending too much time in negative thoughts and wallowing in self-pity, but you are actually taking constructive action. So the fourth topic will focus on how can we stay biased to action so that it helps us build resilience. And once we have covered these 4 behaviors, we will also look at how to apply these behaviors to specific adverse situations like a financial crisis, a professional or a career failure, or a failure in relationships or marriage. How do you really apply these behaviors so that they can become a life-saving blessing for you? So what are you waiting for? Register for the course right now and learn the 4 behaviors that will help you build resilience over time and give you the confidence to face any adversity and thrive in life. Wishing you a blessed life ahead. See you on the other side very soon. All the best.